Hey everybody, how's it going? This is my first video on YouTube, so if it's a little rough, give me some grace. Yeah, this is gonna be a board game map that I just finished. It's a crashed spaceship from Star Wars. For Star Wars Legion. I use this model from SketchUp by Joel G of the Tantive 4. It's pretty nice. Not a lot of like crazy detail, but definitely enough to get all of the general shapes down. Started in on this back section, and I didn't really like I didn't find the exact measurements or scale to the 28mm characters for the board game, but yeah, I was pretty happy with the result. I feel like it turned out to be about the right size. Just a lot of pinning and gluing. Didn't turn out perfectly straight, but I thought, hey, it's gonna be crashed, whatever. This middle section here I did off camera. A lot of the same thing, just measured it, cut it, made it look like it was broken. Found these random parts lying around my house, old model pieces and wires and mesh. It's nice because you can like work it in between the in the foam portion of the foam core, and it'll like stick in there. And if you like kind of peel back the paper on the outside, it looks like kind of like metal being ripped away. I don't know, made for a nice effect. Yeah, the idea behind this thing is kind of like it crashed a long time ago. It's been sitting there. People have been ripping pieces off of it. Also, huge shout out to my grandma for letting me use her pin cushion. I don't have that many pins of my own. Yeah, so hugely appreciated. Cut this wing section a little big here, so I shaved that down. Found these cups, and they happen to be just the right size. Went ahead and tried to make that little gun out of some spare parts. It's not exactly perfect, like I would have liked to go into more detail, and I didn't have multiple, so I only made one gun. But it's okay. It's a crash ship. Finished up this the top layer of engines, and started working on the second one. This is a ridiculous number of engines, like proportionally, like thinking about like some of the other ships in Star Wars can go so fast with much smaller engines. This thing is just gargantuan. As you can see here, I'm using LaCroix cans for the engines, which happen to be the perfect size. Super thrilled about that. I have not had any like sugary soda or pop since like it was my New Year's resolution of 2010, and so if I need carbonated drinks, I drink LaCroix. Yeah, this part was really annoying. I had to like score all these little pieces of foam individually and then wrap them around, and they didn't stick to the LaCroix cans very well, so I had to go back and use super glue. This portion was really fun. I just carved out, I mean, doing like damage on anything like this is always like, the little details are always the best. I think you can see I kind of reinforced that thing behind. I went to the dollar store and found a bunch of different little like gift boxes of different sizes for this round section. Worked out pretty well. Added some layering. So the cockpit was a little tough. I found these at the dollar store as well. It's like this kind of like brittle plastic, and it like doesn't really cut well. It kind of cracks into like little shards when you cut it. So I was actually really surprised this worked out as well as it did. Yeah, wanted to put a little bit more detail inside, so I always like to keep the I think Sprues, I think they're called, when you get a model, all the little things you cut out the pieces of. They always come in handy later. Just kind of fit that in there. Yeah. Did the same thing for the back here. This really actually is what kind of makes it for me. I think because the shapes are good, but the details are what really makes it. So I got this insulation foam, kind of measured that out. Although I don't think I would have done exactly the same way if I could do it over. I think it sticks up a little far off the actual playable surface, but it's alright. Maybe next time. Also decided to have some like scattered debris lying around. I scored the foam there, made the worst sound ever. Prime it up. This is the best part for me. I love painting. I love painting models and miniatures, and I just like the process. It's very cathartic. Layer up your paints. Never starts where it's gonna end. Always changes along the way. And the layers are everything on a model or a painting, I guess in general. It's knowing what colors go and what shades need to go underneath the others. Obviously doing it tastefully, and I think there's definitely wrong ways to paint models, but there's just so much freedom, whether you're like dry brushing or airbrushing or whatever. I don't have an airbrush. I would probably use it a lot. Probably should just bite the bullet and get one. I've just done brush painting forever. I'm sure the learning curve is not too bad. So painted up the rest of these little pieces, and I began smoothing out the texture around the ships, because I basically wanted it to be like it had been sitting there for a while, and the sand kind of blows up against the ship, around the ship, and makes it like a smooth gradual slope up to the ship, kind of natural looking. Unfortunately, like I was saying before, I cut out shapes around the outside to kind of like I don't know, build up the sand underneath, but I did it in a, I don't know, I'm not super thrilled with the way I did that, except on this back piece. This back piece looks definitely the best. Yeah, here they are together. Man, this was fun to see it like all together for the first time. It's actually a lot bigger than I realized it would be. Painting down the base, the earthy color. I did this first as kind of like a primer, so that when I put the sand on, it would have something. The glue would stick. I think it would stick better to this paint than to the foam. So here's the glue. So this was a lot of work. I mean, it was a lot of sand. I went through like an entire jar of sand. I don't even know where I found the jar of sand. Well, no, I mean I found it in the cabinet. I don't know where it was from. It's a lot of sand. So after that was done drying, did some more highlights, some dry brushing over the top to bring back a little bit more of a sandy color instead of an earthy color. Also went through and did some weathering on the outside. I think the weathering is what really topped this off, paint-wise. Cleaned up some lines that I had gone over with the wrong paint color. So the process of doing this is basically you put the sand down, or the glue down, then the sand, and then you go over with a water glue mixture, and when that dries, it creates like a seal on top. Otherwise, you'll have sand chipping off while you play your game all the time. It's just so annoying. It's a fun process. It's a little tedious, but it's fun when you get it right. Yeah. So just some final touches, and we're done. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will be posting more videos soon. Catch you later.